You're listening to Closing Market Weekly, the show where real estate closings meet real world insight. With your host, Phillip Hogan. And every week we break down the trends, tools, and the timing that keeps deals moving forward. Let's dive in. Hi, Phillip Hogan, your host of Closing Market Weekly. Welcome to another episode. Many of you may know me as the CEO of Signing Services of America. And in that role, since 2016, I have worked with hundreds of notary signing agents throughout the country. And one of the things that we decided to do is create a little bit of a contest among the notaries. And that contest is the Notary of the Month award. And it's just simply being able to recognize the high achieving notaries who do work for us. And we think it's a great way to honor them and then also to inspire others to be like the Notary of the Month awardee. So for today's episode, we're going to be talking with the November 2025 Notary of the Month. Before I introduce you, let me just share a little bit more about what I've come to learn about our Notary of the Month since she has been a guest. So our Notary of the Month hails from, well, let me ask her. So listen, so Elizabeth, welcome to the show.
Hi.
And listen, Elizabeth, so you are the Notary of the Month for November 2025. And before you became a notary, what was your area of business? What were you doing?
I was in the restaurant industry for 20 plus years. I was a waitress at many restaurants.
Okay. And what state are you a commissioned notary?
I live in Wisconsin.
Okay. And so you're only commissioned in Wisconsin.
As of right now, yes, but I am looking into getting my Minnesota commission since I live so close to the cities.
Ah,
I
okay,
know.
smart. That's a smart move.
Yes, and a lot of business in the cities.
And you want to do everything you can to be marketable to get that business, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, smart, smart. Okay, great. And tell us, how long have you been a notary signing agent?
For 2.5 years.
Okay. And what's one of the biggest accomplishments that you can say has that you've been able to achieve as a notary signing agent?
Well, just last week I had a refinance signing, and the lady, there must have been some document missing because on their end, because I got a call back saying that Sharon only wants to work with you. So I went back the next day and had a quit claim deed filled out. So it was really nice having someone say, I want her and only her.
Yeah, that is a good feeling, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It kind of like gives you, a little bit of pep to your step.
Yes. It makes you feel like important.
Yes, and and notaries are important. You know what I mean? Because you are the eyes to ensure that the signer is indeed who they say they are, and you're authenticating a person's signature. So you play a very important role, and no matter what document you are definitely signing, but you certainly play a big role as a notary on the team to Signing Services America, and that's why you became Notary of the Month. So speaking of Notary of the Month. What inspired you to become a notary, and how did you get started in the loan signing work?
Well, like I said before, I was a waitress for 20 years and my children are grown, so I thought maybe I can find something I can do that where I can make more money.
Mm,
So I was scrolling TikTok one day and I came across a young lady that lived in Arizona where I
hmm
used to live,
hmm
and she showed a day in her life, and I'm like, that looks interesting. So that's where I got interested.
Okay. Wow. Great story.
Hmm.
And she needs to know how she inspired you.
I know I should reach out to her and let her
Yeah, you
know.
should, right? So hopefully the podcast shows she'll become a listener and realize that she made a difference in someone's life. And so, Elizabeth, what do you believe set you apart and contributed to you being selected as Notary of the Month for Signing Services of America?
Well, I strive to send in all my documents in pristine order, no crumpled pages, no wrinkles. I send them back in the order they come in or they came in, and I write legibly. So I just like to have very detail oriented work.
Okay. And we appreciate that. And so do our clients. So, can you share a moment or signing experience that made you especially proud of the work that you do?
Well, one time, Well, I was going to use the one with the lady that wanted me back again, but
Uh-huh.
I know one time, like I mentioned to you yesterday, I had an appointment where it was my fault. I didn't, well, it wasn't my fault, but the wrong documents were uploaded to the portal and
Hmm.
I didn't catch that. And
Hmm.
I got to their house
Hmm.
and I said, "Hi, so and so." And they're like, "We're not so and so," but I had the correct address. So, long story short, I reprinted the documents and then met them at their campground.
Mm.
So I went, did my other appointments, found somewhere to print theirs, and then went like 100 miles out of my way just so they can go on their vacation and not wait for me.
Wow, that's
I think I
wonderful.
made a difference for them there.
I think so too. Sure. And many people may not realize the significance in the work that you do. Sure, you're a notary, and yeah, we have to hire you to ensure that the documents are signed correctly by the signature. But what people may not understand is some of the hoops that you have to jump through in order to make things happen. And it sounds like there was a hoop that you had to jump through that you may not normally jump through, but because of the caliber of a person you are and the type of notary that you are, you jump through that hoop. And we all appreciate that. We being obviously, the signing service and of course our clients, right? Because at the end of the day, we always want to do what? Get those documents signed.
I have another example. I had an appointment that was scheduled for in Neilsville,
Uh-huh.
which is like 100 miles east of where I live.
Uh-huh.
And the gentleman, he lives in Milwaukee, but he was working on, he's like he must be some kind of sewer line driller.
Uh-huh.
So he was working. I pulled up, we signed in my car because there's no house to go into. He doesn't live there.
Right.
So that's another example. He was able to sign his documents at his work field,
Right.
and I was able to accommodate that.
That's wonderful. I'm chuckling not because I find your story to be humorous. I'm chuckling because you're taking me back to the days of COVID. And during those days, we had to be very creative for, the work to be done. And notaries were considered essential workers. So, we were able to hire notaries, but what they had to do to get the document signed was very, very different. And some of the notaries like you had to literally meet the signers in their car, and the notary would be signing the documents in their car, or sorry, would pass the documents to the signers in their car, and the signers would sign and then come back to the notary to actually get it notarized. And so, those are the things that we had to do back then. And it come out, for some of us, it turned out to be wonderful. So, what are your biggest challenges? Excuse me, what are the biggest challenges notaries face today, and how do you overcome them?
Well, to make sure you know your state's laws and to make sure you know the difference between a jurat and an acknowledgement. I know that's education, but for me, I didn't really, it took me a little while to figure those out and what you need like to keep track of.
And how did you figure them out?
Going online and doing research, just Googling or asking, well, Google or Chat, the AI wasn't around back then, but just ask Google, what's the difference between a jurat and an acknowledgement?
Hmm. So you did some reviews,
Hmm.
and you got some really good information that was useful. And do you have any other sources that you use to conduct your research?
I have an NNA book, but I haven't opened it really.
Okay.
Basically, AI is your best friend.
Uh-huh. Okay, great. And are you a member of the National Notary Association?
Yes,
Very good. And so they offer like a resource service as well, don't they?
I think so. Yes, you have to call him though.
Yeah, you have to go. Yeah,
You
yeah,
have to call him.
yeah,
You can't Google it.
yeah. You
But
can't
yes,
you can't Google them, but thanks for to chat GBT, right?
yes. But
Okay.
mainly, just know your state law and like the difference between an acknowledgement and a jurat, and
Hmm.
keep track of how many of each you have.
Hmm. So
That would
would I be putting you on the spot if you were to give us a brief definition between a jurat and an acknowledgement?
No, I wouldn't be
Okay.
on the spot. So an acknowledgement is just the signers acknowledging that they're signed the document and that it's their signature. And
Hmm.
then a jurat, they're sworn in. So like they're sworn like I swear that I am so and so and that I am signing this of my own free will. So like
Very.
they're being sworn under oath as
Hmm.
opposed to just saying yes, that's me.
Very good. All right. Excellent. Good stuff. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so here, how do you maintain accuracy and consistency, especially during high volume periods?
Well, whenever I get a loan signing package, I go over it thoroughly on my computer, check all the page sizes, I print it out, and then I flag everywhere where the signer signs, and
Hmm.
then I go back through again and I paper clip it, and then I go to the signing, and then they sign it, and then I go through and take off the flags and make sure they signed everywhere they're supposed to sign,
Hmm.
because that 5 minutes at the end of the signing has saved me so many times from going back. I have
Hmm.
missed like a page or two because they stick together.
Hmm. Hmm.
So and I do it the same way every single time.
Hmm. Excellent, excellent. So you've built that, you've established that system, and you don't fall, you don't pretty much change that system from
No.
signing to signing. That's the way it is for every signing.
Yes.
That's great.
Now, I did a couple times when I first started being a notary, there was, I think maybe I've had one loan officer or two loan officers. So
Hmm.
like the first time someone took my documents and they started shuffling them and I had
Hmm.
to back like an, oh my goodness, because there's like hundreds of pages and they want them sent back in the same order.
Right.
So you got to be flexible too. So
So you had oh my gosh moment, right? Because
yes,
they shuffled your documents. How dare they, right?
yes.
Right.
I mean, it's an easy fix. It's just it's timely to go back and like, go through and make sure they're all right in order. But
Sure. So, what's one practice or system you've implemented that has improved your efficiency or client experience? Now, that doesn't necessarily have to do with the particular documents. It could be how approach these signers or how you handle the signing. And so don't I just want to kind of give you some room here to spread your wings a little bit.
okay, well, so as a notary, we never know where we're going. So
Mm.
like we can be going to a business, we can be going to someone's house. They can have children, they can have dogs, they could have chickens.
Mhm.
Which up here in Wisconsin, I am afraid of chickens, but like I could walk up to a German Shepherd growling and barking and not bat an eye, but a chicken walks toward me, so you got to be prepared for like that.
Uh-huh.
Um, Sometimes you walk into houses. Like I had an appointment like 3 months ago where the guy, he opens the door and I'm like, "Hi, I'm here to see David," and he's like, "I'm not David." So he shows me where David is, and David was a paraplegic.
Okay.
So he signed he used a mouth pen to sign his
Wow.
documents. So
Oh,
you got to be flexible. Like you got to be able to walk into and not know what to expect
and still get the job done.
and get the job done
Yeah.
professionally
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I like that. I like that. And
and
then,
be prepared. Like
yes.
yesterday, for an example, I had a closing. So
Uh,
in Wisconsin, it's black ink. And so as you know, we do all different states. So some states are blue ink. So
right.
in my pouch, I had five black pens and one blue pen. And
Hmm.
there's two signers.
Okay.
So, and of course they didn't have any blue pens.
Uh-huh.
So it was embarrassing that the brothers had to share a pen. So bring enough pens.
Bring it up. Yes. Right. In other words, be prepared for the unexpected. Right.
Yes.
Right. And that way you'll never be surprised.
Yes.
Okay. Good deal. Fine. That's wonderful. And so then, what does the Notary of the Month recognition mean to you personally and professionally?
Well, it makes my heart happy. It makes me very excited that I'm being recognized for my work.
Hmm.
I mean, you made my day when you called me the other day and said that I was the November notary of the month. So, yeah.
And we appreciate you and all the other notaries that do great work for us. And again, as I said in the opening statements, we just want to show you some acknowledgement and make you realize, all of our notaries to realize that you're part of the Signing Services America team, and as a result, we want to offer you an opportunity to be recognized for your great work. And that goes for any notary that does work for us. There may be notaries that's in the audience listening and wondering, well, how do I become a notary of the month for Signing Services of America? And it's very simple. You first want to, sign up in our platform to be able to work with us. And then once the work starts happening, then we will recognize you as a member of the team, and hopefully you'll be able to meet the criteria that you'll be able to have the acknowledgement as being Notary of the Month awardee. And so, but for right now, Elizabeth, this is Elizabeth's time to shine, and we want to make sure that nothing rains on her parade as being the Notary of the Month for November 2025. So, Elizabeth, as we begin to wrap up here, if someone wanted to contact you to give you some business, ask some questions, or possibly seek your advice, how would they contact you?
The best way is email.
Okay.
And my
And
email address is elizabethnotaryservice2023@gmail.com.
please repeat that again.
Elizabeth Notary Service at, let me start all over again.
Mm,
Elizabeth Notary Service 2023@gmail.com.
wonderful. Fantastic. Well, Elizabeth, listen, thank you for being a great guest on the Closing Market Weekly show. And also, we really do appreciate you and value you and all the other notaries that do tremendous work for us. And folks, listen, you can stay abreast with our content by simply going to our YouTube channel, subscribe and like and share. Also, you can find our content on Apple as well as Spotify. And so, Elizabeth, again, thank you for joining the show. You've been a great guest, and we look forward to working with you again on in Signing Services of America.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. And bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to the Closing Market Weekly. If you found this episode valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone in the industry. For more insights from the front lines of real estate closings, we'll see you next week.